Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at purposely.com. Purposely Equipped, an exploration of the Nicene Creed.
And continuing our discussion of the Nicene Creed with Pastor Barry, my pastor, and I tapped him to work on this series because we were doing a series on this in our church recently, and I thought this was a great representation of essential Christian doctrine, some things that we can all agree on in Christian churches. So we recited the Creed last time. You can listen to a previous episode as to what the Nicene Creed says in its entirety. So we're taking each section of the Creed and doing little shows, little podcasts here on this. So let's get into this first section. We believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all that is, seen and unseen. So this would lay out the basic idea that God is one. Tell us more about this, Barry.
Yeah, so we believe as Christians, and certainly our Jewish friends affirm as well, this comes from the Old Testament, from the Torah, which would be known to both us and, again, those folks who come from a Jewish perspective. And it says in Genesis 1, in the beginning God, and that says everything. Whether one believes in a young earth, 4004 BC, according to Bishop Ussher, or whether we believe the earth is 13.8 billion years old, Christians believe that it began with God, that right. God is an eternal being. Right. And you know that I often say at church that true love grows, and we'll talk a little more about the Trinity, but we're here because of the love between Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. True love growing and a desire to create us, created in the image of God, to have fellowship with God.
Yeah. Oh, I think I've heard, too, what's interesting in that first verse of the Bible, in the beginning, God. But that word for God there is plural. It's God's, if you were to read it more, literally. And that even right there at the beginning, first verse of the Bible, it implies the plural. Now, we're going to get into the Trinity idea in some further episodes, but is that right? Is that correct?
No.
No, okay.
So the word there is Elohim.
But it says, let us make man in our image.
So later it does say us, right. But in terms of in the beginning God there is singular. Okay. Elohim is the...
But let us make man in our image.
Yes, later. And so there would be Christians who would say that means, that expresses the Trinity. There were others, certainly the Jewish people don't believe in the Trinity, but right. believe in the inspiration of the Bible and Genesis. And so they would understand that to, I think, just be a plural expression of the nature of God, but not necessarily Trinitarian.
Okay. Well, already we're having some, not disagreements, but we're seeing how some of these ideas came later from between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Yeah. Yeah. But again, the first thing laid out in the Creed is that we believe in one God, eternal. He is the maker. He is the creator God.
Yeah, and again, his nature is eternal. He has always been there. And we have been blessed as human beings to be created to be in relationship with God. And the tragedy, of course, is when people are not in relationship with God. We believe that this one God is revealed in what we call general revelation, which is looking at the world. I just love coming over the hill into Edmonds and seeing Puget Sound sure. and the Olympic Mountains. And to me, it's a spiritual experience. It reminds me of God. It's design. We also look to God as people who believe there should be justice in the world. And when we see beauty in the world and we believe there's more to life than this, what we experience. Well, all of those move us towards this general revelation of God. But we also, Mark, have of this one God, we have special revelation, which are the Scriptures. That is where God has revealed himself to us, and we find him in the Scriptures, but also in personal experience. Personal experience needs to, in some sense, be verified by experience, but many of us have experiences of God where we feel close to God, where we feel he may be guiding us in certain ways, but that is the one God, maker of heaven and earth, who also made us.
Yeah, it says that too, that God put eternity in the hearts of men. And that's not just Christians, that's everybody. Everybody has this God-shaped place in their life.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Augustine said, "You have made us for yourself, and our hearts are restless until they find their rest in thee."
Purposely Equipped, an exploration of the Nicene Creed. To hear this discussion again, or to hear other episodes, visit kcisradio.com/morning devotion or purposely.com.